In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to get a Social Security number, and we're going to make sure that it has 9 digits. Then we are going to physically insert the dashes in there. So your Social Security number is going to have three numbers, a dash, 2 numbers, and then another dash. So let's go, and then the rest of the numbers will last 4 numbers. So the first thing we want to do is we're creating a string variable called Social Security number. And we're going to create, let's just do it a little bit differently. We're going to do it with a function, and we'll call it we'll return a string. And let's call it get string. And what we're going to do here is we're going to pass how many digits it has to be. So by doing that, we can get an exact number of digits that we would have in there. So let's create this here. And I don't like doing this. So we're going to integer, so we'll call it length. And then we are going to create a string variable, and we'll call it the string, or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're getting the exact number of characters we have. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create another Boolean, the world famous Boolean, and we'll just choose need data. We're going to set up a do while. While need data. So now all we're really doing is checking to make sure there's 9 characters in there. So let's go and we'll do cout. Please enter your Social Security number. So let me caution you about using getLine in this. Because if you use getLine and they type in, say, 1, 2, 3, space, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's going to be 9 characters. So bear that in mind. So in this particular case, I'm just going to use cin. So we could use getLine, and then we could check to see if there's any spaces in there or any other characters in there. But there is a thing called isDigit in there. So after this, I will add to the recording and show you how you can physically go in and use isDigit, and that'll make sure that you're physically typing in a valid numeric string in here. Now, we cannot use an integer because if, for some reason, Social Security number has a leading 0, we can't do it. I don't know if there are any that do, but we can't take that chance. So now what we're doing is need data equals the string dot length equals length. And I'm doing what I always do is forget the parentheses. And we still have an issue. The string.length need data equals string.length. Oh, this needs to be double equals. All right, there we go. Now we get all the typos out of the way. So if need data, now I'm going to run this and we have a problem. So let me show you what the problem is. If need data, then cout must be all right, so let me show you what we have. This is not going to work. We have a major problem in here. But it's actually okay because this is why I want to use Booleans in here. So we're going in here, we're getting need data equals the string in here. So it's going to set it to either true or false. If it's 9 characters, then it's going to be true. So we have to be very careful about this. This is a very common thing in here. So what you need to do is change this to, so let's run the program first, and then I'll show you how to fix it. That's why I said you have to be very, very careful with these while loops so you don't get caught in a loop. And of course, this is not going to work because we're not calling the function. So let's go in and call the function. SS number equals get string. And we'll pass 9. Now we really should use a constant, which we'll fix in there. But the reason why I did in this particular case, because maybe you want to use this function several different ways to get different string lengths. So in there. So now we're good in here. And let's run it and see what happens. So enter your social security. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it says must be 9 characters. Please re-enter. That's what I'm talking about. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, it works. So that's why you have to be very, very careful of these things. So if you take a look at need data, that just means that it's equals. That means it's going to fail every single time. So need data has to be doesn't equal the length. So let's run this again. And we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 and see what happens. So we're good. Now we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're pretty good. So now we want to do is create something that will convert it into a social security number. So we want a string, and we'll call it convert, and we'll just call it SSN. And what we're doing is we're passing a string. And that looks good. Let's create the thing if it's going to hopefully have it. My little, I don't want to have to copy this, but I guess I'm going to have to. Alright, so we'll go down to the bottom. So let's make sure we're getting the string first. And we're going to do the social security number. And we'll type in cout. And we'll just type in SSN. So let's type it this time. We'll run it. Just make sure that we're getting the correct results. And there's build errors. Okay. So, Social Security number must return a value. Yes. I can do this. Now let's try it. So we're going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that worked. So now we're good. So now what we need to do is call convert Social Security number. So let's create another variable. And we'll call it full SSN. So what we need to do here is we need to, so let's put we need to put after the 3 a dash. Then we need to put after the 5 a dash. So let's look at these positions. This is 0, 1, and 2. And then so technically we want to insert a dash in 3. So there's a function for that. There's a function for everything in here. Just like here, there's an app for this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do SSN dot insert. What do we want to insert and where do we want to insert it? We want to insert it in the 3rd position. Remember, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2 and 3. And if this helps you, do this. Whatever makes you helpful. So let's go in and we want to insert in the 3rd position. And notice I'm doing a character. And we're missing something. Why is this not being what I want? Oh, my fault. You need to put in a string. And let's print it out. And let's just see what happens. So now we're just doing in 1. So now I put it in here. So now let's take a look at this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We now want to put after the 5, which would be the 6th position, we want to put in another one. So we just go back in here. And we're going to do the same thing. Only this time we're going to put in a 6. So let's see what happens now. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that works. We have it printed out twice in here. So we don't need this anymore because we know it works.
Caution,
Go ahead.
Can you do the SSN inserts as a single line, or
What do you mean by single line? You want to do it twice?
could you use a single SSN dot insert to insert both dashes?
I don't know of any way to do it because you're actually changing the position. Because if you did it, you wouldn't know what. It's probably best to just do it. Even if you could, it's best to do it one at a time. At least I think. All right, so full social security numbers here, and let's just see out the full number is full SSN. And let's run it and see what happens. And there are build errors. Okay, love it. What did I do now?
You forgot a slash on your on the first CO.
And I certainly did. Man, you guys are good. Okay, if I ever go back to becoming a full-time,
that's about it.
But if I ever get back to being a full-time programmer, I'm hiring you. Okay, the full SS number is, and it's not working. So, let's see what happens. Full is convert SS number, so that must mean we did not return the proper thing. Return new string. Good. String in here SS. Oh, actually, we need to return this. And we don't need new string. So let's run it again. And there we go. So now let's take it one step further. Probably thinking, why are we doing it this way? Let's go and put in a string. And this time we want to tell it that we want to put in a, let's see. And then we'll do the So now what we're going to do here is we're going to replace this with insert character. And replace here with insert character. So this just allows you to have a little bit more leeway in here in case you want to use this function to convert something else. So what we'll do here is do it with something different. And see what happens. So first it did the plus, then it did it correctly. Of course, So that takes care of that. So that's how you insert characters. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just use the SSN or use the string. Insert. Where do you want to insert it? What position? And what do you want to insert? So let's just take this one step further. And let's just do this in here and see what happens. So we typed in hi. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now it did plus hi, and in here. So now notice that the positions are off because we had the plus hi. So I just want to make you aware of that. This is when we did it right in the right positions in here. So that will take care of this, and that is everything for insert. I wouldn't recommend inserting anything but a character unless you want to specifically insert a string into some other string in there. So that works out good. So that's it for this.